Hi, welcome to Tech Week. I'm Karen Parrino at North Live Oak, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about science and science in virtual school. So, I would like to share some ideas with you. Originally, this was going to be a hands on make and take workshop, as science usually is in the classroom, students are engaged. So, welcome, Livingston Parish educators and friends. Please take a moment to sign in. There's a tiny URL code, or you can scan your telephone. So, I'm going to give you a few moments to sign in. And we do have some awesome door prizes, so do not forget to sign in. Let us know you're here. Okay, thank you for signing in. I want to talk to you a little bit about science today. And as an early elementary teacher, sometimes we say it's very important that our kids learn to read, and I totally agree. I work really hard to set that foundation, teach those foundational skills and phonemic awareness. But I also know, and the research shows, how important science is to young children. And science is just as important as other subjects. And research is coming out more and more on the importance of science in early childhood. There are some major studies that have proven that students who are immersed in science at an early age, in pre-K to second or third grade, are actually outscoring their peers in ELA and mathematics on standardized tests. And that's because we feel that those students are immersed very early in problem solving skills and critical thinking, and technology is used. So STEM education, STEAM, is so important to young students. We all know that most of us learn best when we're doing and engaged, and that's how our students learn best. So when they're doing and they're engaged, that is that connection to the brain. The neurons are working and connecting, and we're making new connections. And that's so important to our young friends. So I want to talk to you today about some things in kindergarten through second grade that I've pulled together since we're virtual that you could maybe do if your students were at home. If we would be learning from home, science is still important. So we need to keep immersing our students in those science activities and engage them in science. In kindergarten, one of our standards are pushes and pulls. And I have a website that I'm going to share that I found had some really awesome activities. But it's very easy to engage your students from home in pushes and pulls. You could get a partner, ask your students to find a sibling, a parent, a grandparent, a friend that's at their home, and you could use a common household item. For example, a ball. Can you push the ball? Can you pull the ball to you? And something that I found my students really like to do when I did summer school is go on a scavenger hunt. Give them a couple of minutes to go find an item that they can push or pull and have them share out. We all know how much they love to share. So for a lot of my friends, they found a little car, because a lot of the toy cars actually not only push out, but you can pull back and then they accelerate. So giving them tasks like scavenger hunts where they can find items is a way to keep them engaged and motivated, and they love to share. I wanted to share with you a website that I've discovered. You can have a free trial. I think the free trial is for 14 days. So I want to show you the website. It's called Generation Genius. I absolutely love it. There's whole lessons on it, and I am using it, and I am using some of the activities to make notes and keep for later. They are all aligned to the next generation science standards, which is what the Louisiana student standards are aligned to. So I think in the early grades, these activities would be awesome for your students. And you'll notice if you go into one, this would be meeting standards in first grade. You can look at sound, and you'll see that they have an introduction. And if you look at the activity in its entirety, you can see that they talk about what you'll learn. They have discussion, reading, vocabulary, and they have an activity and a teacher guide and an assessment. And there's even a online quiz game. The games are very fun and engaging for the students. So I think our students would love the games. Let me go back to the PowerPoint and talk a moment. Models is a huge part of K-2, and students want to develop those engineering practices by using models and developing them. So we can have our students make models of many different things, and they can make models from things that are common household items. Now I'm looking at first grade, and a part of their curriculum and their standards are light and sound. And I have a great activity that you can use from very simple materials, make a harmonica. I have a connection to that activity. I think it takes two popsicle sticks, two rubber bands, and some paper. And students will be able to feel that vibration, talk about sound waves, and how that vibration is creating that sound and how those sound waves travel. I also have activity in Generation Genius, which it's a free trial right now for teachers that talks about light and sound. And I have a Kahoot challenge on light, and I have the game pin that I will send out. In second grade, we have standards on matter, structure, and properties. And something that I like to do in my classroom, the students love, I know many of you have probably done that, is make a root beer float. This is easy to do at home for students, and they can observe the properties of matter and the states of matter. You have your solid ice cream, your liquid root beer. You can even use another liquid like Coke or whatever liquid they have, and watch those bubbles erupt, which is the gas. So this is an easy way to have them experiment with the three states of matter. You can also have them go on a scavenger hunt and look for objects that represent hardness, buoyancy, even magnetic. So they can test properties of everyday objects. Usually a lot of people I know, myself included, we have magnetic items on the refrigerator. So that's an easy activity to go find those objects and test the property. Is it hard? Is it absorbent? Is it buoyant? And for light in first grade, you could go into a scavenger hunt where students find something that's transparent. Can you find a transparent object? Can you find an opaque object? Can you find a translucent object? And why are those objects transparent or opaque or translucent? Another big part of K-2, which we talked about, is the K-2 engineering design. Engineering is heavy in our Louisiana science standards and also in the next generation science standards. So we want to give students problems to solve. We know that when we work on a problem, even though it's difficult, that we grow, students grow. Part of that growth is that struggle through that problem. And I have a problem where students view a video on how beavers build dams. And you can even discuss the purpose of animal homes and how they create shelter, and have students understand the flow of water. When a beaver builds that dam, what does it do to that flow of water? Is that flow of water still flowing freely? Is it blocked? What's blocking it? What kind of matter is blocking it? Is that a solid? Can water go through a solid? Have students think and share out why they think humans actually would want to change the flow of water. What purpose would it be for us to change the flow of water? So students can investigate using Legos or other materials to see how they could build a model to change the flow of water. And I like to use those little Dollar Tree tin pans for things like this in class. And students can use common items at their house to test their models in a plastic container or a little tin one. Now, I just have a picture of a friend who created a model of a pyramid. You can create models of so many things. I have a video link to the beaver activity, and I'll share that out after this presentation. It's just important, and I want to reemphasize that students be an engineer. Science is about doing, creating, thinking, solving problems. Students can grab common household materials. They can create a habitat. They can create a pyramid. They can create a beaver dam. The ideas are limitless, that you can get your students actively involved being an engineer. Here's an example of that. Awesome. And students are so proud of their accomplishments. I love to see the thought process and how they present that and explain it. It's always amazing. I'm going to go back before we conclude, and I'm going to share with you another website that I found that is very nice to go to. This site is called Seymour Science, and if you look, it has a video on forces. And this is also a game. I'm going to click and see if you can see a few minutes. Okay, it's not going to play from here, but I will share that out. And if you see, there are games, and you can see what's next, what is night and day. This is a free site that you can go to. You don't even need a free trial. There's guides. And the games, if you see down here, the games are really, really awesome. It keeps students engaged. Another site that I really like is Science Sparks. Science experiments for kids. There are so many science experiments for kids. You can see STEM challenges, science projects, holiday science, primary science, and even early childhood in those pre-K years. There are lots of good activities here, things that students can do from home, or you can do in your classroom with students. I joined this, it's free, and they send out a little activity every week. So I know that you would enjoy that if you're interested in getting more science activities for STEM and projects. I just want to conclude by sharing that we all are scientists. We all solve problems. We all use problem-solving skills. So if you can encourage your students to think like a scientist, use those skills. problem solve. I know as a parent and a teacher, sometimes we want to solve those problems for our students. Sometimes it's easier, but actually to see that growth in our students, to let them solve those problems, let them design a building, let them design a model, let them make a structure, let them create and engage. They are so proud of themselves when they do that, and they're so motivated. And I think that's what science in the early childhood years does, is it helps students to gain that confidence that they can do, they can create, they can build, they can be that engineer, they can be that anthropologist, they can be that designer, they can do all those things. They can create, build, and add to their creations. And I just want to encourage you to continue to do the things that we all do with our students, whether we're at school, at home. Our students will definitely benefit, and we will see those benefits. They will reap the rewards of those benefits of being scientists. So keep engaging, keep motivating, and keeping the best that we all can be. I look forward to seeing everyone at school next week. I hope you have a great year. Thank you for allowing me to share with you today. And we'd appreciate it if you would take the survey at the end. There's a tiny URL code at the bottom. You can see that .com, or you can scan your phone to take the survey. And I really appreciate your time today. I love talking about science and young children. They are excited, I'm excited, and you know that excitement is contagious. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Have a good year. God bless you.